What is good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast. Here, I am Jeffrey Kirby. As always, each and every week, we are joined by Jarryd. Jarryd, how in the hell are you?
Hanging in there. Thursday. Week going by fast, though. I'm excited.
It is going by fast. And can you do me one favor before we get started?
I'm not changing my shirt. No.
Well, if you're not going to do that, can you please just cover it to make sure that we're not showing just complete and utter shit on your chest here?
No. It's not shit. You know, the 4 seed, close to the 3 seed as of today. We'll see what happens in the next couple of days here. That 3 seed is looking.
Oh, listen. To be honest, if we're going to be honest, I know we're getting off topic for FSEC. Cavs look like fucking dog shit right now. Good God. But luckily we are not the Cavaliers Roundtable podcast here. We're talking about Pittsburgh Steelers here, and got some interesting conversations I have. This is so for those that are watching, just to kind of give you guys an update of what's going to be going on with the podcast over the next couple of weeks. So next week. We're supposed to be having. I've not even announced this yet on Twitter, so you guys are going to get this right now. Eventually, I'm going to post this out there probably on Monday. Mm-hmm. Next week. So you remember a couple weeks ago we had Joe from draft412.com. He is going to be back on the podcast, and John Toth, who is also a part of draft412.com. They're both going to be on next week. It's going to be our final draft discussion. We're going to have a bulk draft discussion just overall. We're thinking about doing that show live, which I think would be interesting too. Kind of bring some live interactions too, so people could ask questions. And so we're going to be doing that next week, and then the week after that, mock draft 2.0 season. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Now we'll see if Hunter's going to be able to be on next week. There's a chance he may not be on next week, so it may just end up being us two and Herb. Which is fine. We'll get the Browns fan out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, brother. And then the draft show, or you get the NFL draft. Obviously, that's going to be going on. And then week after that, we'll be talking. Obviously breaking down the picks, figuring out who we like, what we don't like, blah blah blah. Just kind of breaking down the draft. And then I don't know if this is official or not. If it is already, then I look stupid or whatever. Then that's fine. Whatever. Not the first time, won't be the last. My guesstimation is that May 9th is going to be the day that they release the schedules. Now, we'll see. Now, the reason why I base it off of that was because last year they released it the Thursday before Mother's Day. Reason why I know that, for those that don't know, I work in the flower industry. Mother's Day, yeah, you can see where that kind of goes. It gets a little wild. And I remember being dog tired last year. We did like a 30-minute live stream, and I was on fumes. I think May 9th is going to be the day that they release the schedule. That's just my guesstimation. Whenever that is, the plan will probably we'll go live like we did last year. Because last year they released it at 8 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock on that day, we'll be live. We'll be talking about it. And then trips will be made. Trips will be made and booked and all that, and we'll be ready to rock and roll for a home opener. But yeah, so that's what we got going on over the next couple of weeks. Some interesting conversations go on. We have our final mock draft to look at for I think that's going to be this year. Because usually every week we look at a mock draft, and it's going to be the last one. Will be probably Lance Zierlein from NFL.com. We got some interesting draft conversations that we'll kind of go into just with the Steelers, and then we got some jersey numbers, which some of you guys might be able to bust out old jerseys, just put the duct tape on and call it a day. And that's it. And I think that's where I want to get started real quick before we kind of get into the draft talk. Obviously, we got the jersey numbers. So Justin Fields is going to be wearing number 2. Russell Wilson is going to be wearing number 3. I think the big conversation everyone was talking about was Cordero Patterson wearing number 84 which I think we all know someone who wore 84 before.
Yeah.
Played wide receiver, was pretty good. Apparently is the head insider because he apparently had this the Stephon Diggs thing. He was hitting at that back on St. Patrick's Day. So I don't know what's going on with that over there with Antonio Brown. ESPN, which by the way is hilarious.
Oh, hilarious. If you don't have Twitter or X, please. Oh, it's hilarious.
But yeah, so let me ask your honest opinion. Because, and I'm going to pull this up. I want to pull up the tweet that Antonio Brown actually put out earlier. What are your thoughts on Cordero Patterson wearing the number 84?
I'm not upset at it or anything. I didn't think he would wear 84. It's just another jersey number to me. I know AB was that guy. For the Steelers wearing number 84, but times has changed. Got to move on. Everyone's gonna wear the same jersey number. I don't think. You think they'll retire his jersey number down the line? I don't know about that.
I think that's where the conversation was to be had. Because we all know how the Steelers are in terms of retiring jersey numbers. They almost never do it. They'll unofficially do it. Let's be honest. I don't think we're going to ever see someone wearing the number 7 again.
No.
You ain't going to see no one. It's just there's certain jerseys that you're not going to see people wear. And Antonio Brown, he had this tweet out earlier, and I'm going to read this out to you guys right now about what he said on Twitter about the whole thing. He said, truth be told, how the @Steelers only got 3 retired jerseys at this point. Should have 5+ just off of the steel curtain. I'm still a Steeler for life, but damn, retire number 12 and number 43. And after Hall of Fame number 7 already, so they families can enjoy it. #CTESPN. Apparently the CTE did not kick in there because that's actually first and foremost a very quality tweet. First and foremost, and B, he kind of cooked there a little bit because he is right. There are just from the steel curtain alone, there are 5, 6, 7 numbers that you can retire from there. Then obviously he mentioned you got Troy Polamalu that you could retire. You could retire Ben obviously at number 7. So there are multiple numbers that you could retire. Oh, yeah. Now that's where you run into the thing. Now I'm going to use a baseball analogy for a sec. And I'll use your team for example, the New York Yankees. Oh. I mean, they got a billion numbers. It feels like they have retired. So that kind of limits things a little bit. Yep. And obviously it's cool to have a jersey number retired. But I'm one of those people that like for example, for me, for the Cavs, people ask should Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, LeBron's obviously that's an obvious one. Yeah. Let's say should Kevin Love and Kyrie get their number retired? It's like that conversation in Cleveland, and you can have that conversation on a multitude of levels in all different levels all around the country with sports. I was personally okay with them with Cordero Patterson getting number 84.
I'm not upset,
and the reason being, and listen, if you are a little about it and because you think Antonio Brown should get rid, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to say you're stupid or anything like that. That's not one of those arguments. But what I will say is he was great, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
But and he was one of the top receivers in NFL history. I will give you that. I just think with the way that things have gone over the last few years, and I understand that sometimes you, in certain situations, you don't want to take the outside part of the NFL and bring it into there. But in sports, it happens. You look at the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, it happens. And at the end of the day, I'm cool with it. I personally don't have an issue with it.
No issues.
Yeah, I'm personally on that belief. Now, if someone were to have gotten, obviously like number 7 or something like that, okay, now we're Now we're talking things because we also got to remember too. I mean, Antonio Brown as a rookie went to a Super Bowl. He never won a Super Bowl here. So you have that. And I understand where he's at in terms of all time. Dude is like, I would still be okay with putting him in a Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that every single not every single Hall of Famer has their jersey number retired.
Nope.
So, yeah. And let me know down below, guys. What do you guys think about it? Are you, and you know what? I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm going to put a poll out there on my personal Twitter. I'm doing it right now as we speak. Right there. At Jeff_Kirby412. I'm going to put it, should the Steelers have let another player wear the number 84 ? Yes, no, I am meh about it. And we'll update that.
Yeah. It's a number. AB did a lot of things. You know, there's a lot, like you said, a lot of players, you know, should have the jersey retired, but they're having. You know, it's just how it is. Just one example I have. You know, I know we're a little bit off topic from football, basketball. The Magic, they just retired their first jersey with Shaquille O'Neal's jersey. There's so many other players they could have retired first, but Shaq was just a bigger impact. Put Orlando on the map. That's just an example.
And didn't win them a championship. So
no, he did not. He did not, unfortunately. It's unfortunately. But he had a big impact with Orlando on the map, basically. You know.
But yeah, so just I personally am whatever about it. But yeah, so to give you the full list, so Justin Fields is number 2, Russell Wilson is number 3, Kyle Allen is number 4, Cameron Johnston, OH, number 5, Patrick Queen, number 6, Van Jefferson, number 11, Quez Watkins, number 16, Deshaun Elliott, number 25, Dante Jackson, 26, Cordell Patterson, 84. We already just talked about that. And Dean Lowry is number 94. So those are the official new the new numbers for those players. So yeah, if you guys have an issue with it, let me know down below. And like I said, I'll give you guys sometimes towards the end of the show. As of right now, we already have 9 votes on it, and 78% say yes, and 22% say no, and 0% are mad about it. So I'll be curious to see how that goes with the fans. All right, let's get into the draft talk here. So there was an interesting discussion to be had this week that I've been a part of this week in terms of the draft. And I wanted to bring this up with you and to everyone else. How, in your opinion, I'm going to say this kind of vaguely on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
How should the Steelers handle the draft? In what order should...
It's always going to be... what order? It's always, BPA, best player available. I think what I think is going to happen, the 2 players that I think you probably already know where I'm going to go with this. JPJ, Amarius Mims are going to be there at 20. If one of them's there, if they're both there, you have a toss-up, I have a feeling, in my opinion. I think it's a little bit tough. They haven't addressed the center at all in free agency. So my mind says center.
Okay, so you think center should be number 1
as of right now.
Okay,
and then off offensive tackle, easily in the 2nd spot.
Okay,
cornerback is my number 3 right now.
Okay,
/ receiver 3 or 4.
No. So is it? Do you have it as corner number 3, wide receiver number 4, or do you have it wide receiver 3, cornerback 4?
It's tough. It's actually very tough, honestly. I go receiver probably 3.
Okay.
I think receiver 3, then cornerback 4.
Okay. So we'll kind of stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to flip this a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go offensive tackle 1,
Mm-hmm.
center number 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then number 3 and number 4, I'm tossed about between the wide receiver and cornerback position. Here's why I'm going to say offensive tackle number 1. The reason why I want to say offensive tackle number 1 is because right now you have, we'll break it down like this, assuming that they go after a right tackle. Broderick Jones at the left, Sayamalu at guard. Right at this very moment, it's Nate Herbig at center, James Daniels at right guard, and then we'll in this example, say Amarius Mims. I think I would feel more comfortable having two young bookend tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your guards. And then as long as you have a center that could be serviceable,
yeah.
I think you can get away with that a lot better than having, let's just say, Dan Moore, because, God, we don't need Dan Moore.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, so you have Dan Moore, Sayamalu, JPJ, Daniels, Broderick Jones.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love JPJ, and if we were to get JPJ and say Amarius Mims is gone, and they go after Jackson Powers Johnson, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be mad. I will not be, because we addressed that position. But I think you have to window yourself down to, in that situation, if both Mims, and who's to say that Tyler Guyton's not one of those guys? Now, I prefer Mims over Guyton, for example, and I prefer Mims over Tyrese Fuaga. Now, that's why I break this down. I would prefer to have two young bookend tackles and then kind of deal with that center position rather than just having a gapping hole at that left tackle spot. Or because at the end of the day, going up, like for an example, in the division, you're going to go up against like Dan Moore against Myles Garrett. That's not going to get that doesn't go out so well for you. I would much rather have dealing with the two DNs. The two pass rushers, I would much rather be able to handle those a lot more. And then you can kind of get away with, I think, a little bit more dealing with a question mark at center versus having a question mark at tackle. Now, last year we had both. We had the god awful center, and then we had the question mark at tackle. Now you have the chance. Who's to say that they can eliminate both? There is the chance that they can eliminate both. You go and say, for example, get Mims at 20, and then who's to say that they couldn't trade back up to go after Zach Frazier or Cedric Van Pran, one of those guys? You can get that. But in this argument, if you had to ask me right now, Mims or JPJ, who they're both there at 20, who are you getting? I think as of this moment, I would prefer Amarius Mims for that reason.
And listen, I don't disagree. It's right or wrong. Basically, who would you rather? Everyone's opinion. I can see where you're going. I'm kind of leaning towards your decision a little bit more, going with the tackle than the center. And then, can you repeat your 4?
Again? So I mentioned 1, 2. So offensive tackle 1, center 2. Here is my dilemma: is between the wide receiver and corner at 3 and 4. The reason why I'm having this dilemma, and we're going to kind of work this out together. We're going to work this out like a math equation, like we're in high school here. We're doing high school math right now, but instead we're bringing it to football. Do you want to bring in a receiver? Like, let's just say for this exercise, you're able to get both. You're able to get an offensive tackle and a center. Your first 2 picks handled. Got those 2 positions now. You get to the 3rd pick and to say, okay, do you want to go after the best available wide receiver or corner? Now you can make the argument for both. You could say, listen, we need a wide receiver a little bit more than a corner because we need ourselves a good number 2. And you in this wide receiver class is deep when it comes to that position. You can get yourself someone good, and we have the track record. Or do you say, listen, we don't have the track record for corners, so maybe what we need to do, and we had the track record with wide receivers, why not flip that a little bit, use a little bit higher pick, get a little bit higher, a better player at the cornerback position, and then use that fourth pick to get a wide receiver that can develop into something. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I think
because do they have 2/3 this year? What's their
I believe so. I believe it's 2/3.
Because I just want to make sure, because then that would make sense. They could go either way with those two, depending where the third picks are.
And obviously the wide receiver thing is still not fully out of the equation in terms of free agency.
Yep.
I mean, we're at this point, I don't know who to believe with this whole Tyler Boyd thing. Until he signs with someone else, there's always that possibility there.
Yep.
And you know what? Speaking of wide receivers, there's two things that I want to say. One about Tyler Boyd in itself, and one about the wide receivers in general with this team.
Mm-hmm.
The Tyler Boyd thing. People are saying, oh, Tyler Boyd wants too much money. He thinks he's all that. He was just a wide receiver 3 in Cincinnati. Yes, he was a wide receiver 3 because you dealt with Jamar Chase. You had Jamar Chase, who was one of the best receivers in all of football. And T. Higgins, who on most teams would be a wide receiver 1.
Yep.
They had themselves a luxury of having Tyler Boyd to be a wide receiver number 3. And he just kind of got lost in the loop a little bit.
Because he could be a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Easily.
So
maybe number 1
at the end of the day, you get him into a spot where he's going to be able to see more targets. You get him in Pittsburgh, for example. Obviously, George Pickens is going to he's going to be the wide receiver 1, but Tyler Boyd's going to be able to get more targets there. So therefore, you're going to be able to see him be more productive as well. I don't think people are truly understanding that.
He's going to be getting more targets than Van Jefferson and Quez Watkins. I can tell you that much. If they're still on the roster, if they're on the roster, we'll see what happens. But
I think so. I think the question mark would end up coming down to Calvin Austin. And the reason why there's more of a question mark with that now is because of CP.
Yep, there is.
So now there's that little bit of an intrigue to watch out for when we get into the summer. Mm-hmm. And then to the wide receiver position, just all in itself with the Steelers. So I had someone today, I was talking to someone in a group chat, and we got to talking about, or it was yesterday or today, I forget when it was. In fact, I'm scrolling through here because I want to find this. Okay, so this group chat was getting mad because they said that they don't like that the Steelers don't retain wide receivers into a second contract or even a third contract, whatever. It's rare that they do that. They did it with Deontay Johnson. They technically did it with Juju. Obviously, you're going to do it with Antonio Brown. They did it with those guys. They did it with Hines Ward, stuff like that. But I think here was the argument that I made on why I am okay with that not being the case. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use a baseball reference, for example. Now, Jarryd being a Yankee fan, he's not going to understand this language because they could just go out and spend God knows whatever money they want. I'm a Guardians fan. Even if you're a Pirates fan, you can use the same thing, but I'm going to use the Guardians on this for an example for one specific reason. What is one thing that the Guardians and the Pittsburgh Steelers have in common? They're both able to develop at a high rate at one certain position. The Steelers being wide receivers, the Guardians with pitching. Now you're asking yourself, well, Jeff, how the hell are you making this comparison? Here's how. Look at the Guardians over the last, let's say, 6, 7, 8 years. Look at the guy that they've been able to develop and trade away. Corey Kluber, Trevor Bauer, Mike Clevenger. Those are a couple of guys right there. Mm-hmm. Corey Kluber, they traded away. Hey, love him. 2-time Cy Young Award winner. We traded him away at the correct time. And then he kind of started to fall off. Trevor Bauer, that one was kind of an iffy trade. Mm-hmm. Mike Clevenger, you traded him away. He ended up becoming dog shit, ended up having some issues, and you got a haul for him. Mm-hmm. The same thing could possibly be happening with Shane Bieber. If you're able to develop a position at a high rate or a higher rate than usual, why would you pay a premium price unless it's an elite of the elite player? Antonio Brown is not the example here because he was the elite of the elite. You needed to keep him there. You would have been dumb not to. So he is out of that. He is out of the equation.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you pay a premium price for a position that you can go out there and just continue to draft in the middle and rounds, not pay a whole lot of money for, and still get good production out of?
No, exactly. You were exactly right. And that is called a business move.
It's called a business move. That's why the Steelers throughout the NFL are always talked about as such a well-run organization. Now, whether fans within feel that way, that's a whole different ballgame. But when you talk about the totality of how the national media, how other NFL teams, how other fans speak about the Steelers, they look at it as they're a well-run organization, and there are reasons why. Because they don't pay premium prices when they don't have to, when they could get similar-ish production for a whole lot cheaper. That's why, like, for you live close to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, for example, in terms of baseball, they've been great for the last few years, and they've had a very low payroll. Why is that? Because they've been able to develop. They're able to get similar-ish talent and similar-ish production. Let me say that.
Yeah, production.
For a lot less cost than, say, the Yankees, who were the Rays have made to a World Series sooner than the Yankees, by the way.
Yep. Thank you. Back to football.
Yeah. But yeah, that I think that is something that when you talk about receivers, that is something that needed to be talked about. And that's why with Deontay Johnson, for example, you got him in on a second contract. You knew damn well you weren't bringing him back on a third contract.
Nope.
So, and that's why I was okay with letting him go, because you understood he wasn't going to be coming back. And you were able to relieve some cap space, so why not go ahead, trade him now, get what you can for him.
You got a player. You got Dante Jackson.
You got a player back out of it who's going to contribute this year. So there's that. So I think that is something that needs to be added. And I know we kind of went off topic, but now, it's went off topic, but it was on topic at the same time. It's kind of this, it's like a girl trying to tell a story. But, you try to start here and then it just kind of goes all over the damn place and it just looks like a 4-year-old is just trying to do a maze or something. Looks like he's trying to color inside the lines. But that swings all the way back into what would my order be for the Steelers at the draft. So I think with me speaking that, I'm going to go with, see, I'm still having this issue.
I think they do it I think they do it at 3.
So you still think wide receiver should be number 3 and corner at number 4?
Yep.
And I think part of it too is the intrigue and the question mark of Corey Trice.
Yep.
I think that's something else that needs to be kind of added into this as well.
Because he was having a good camp until he got hurt, unfortunately, towards ACL. So we didn't see the production during the season. And I think they're going to give him a shot. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, so right now, your two projected your starting corners projected are going to be Joey Porter Jr., Dante Jackson. Then you have Darius Rush as your nickel. And then behind them, then you get behind that, then it looks a little rough.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what? I've actually talked myself into this. My official stance right now is going to be offensive tackle 1, center 2, cornerback 3, wide receiver 4.
Yeah, either way is fine. Either way, listen, only a couple, 3 weeks away, I think, 3 or 4 weeks away from
3 weeks from today.
3 weeks from today till the draft, and we will all be watching. Jeff will be in Pittsburgh for the first night, or I'm excited. It's gonna be. Well, let's hope the Steelers don't trade up again. I really don't, unless You know, they did it 2 years in a row, right? No, they didn't.
No.
Only
drunk.
last year. Yeah, I was. But
but but you know what? Speaking of which, that brings us into another discussion. What if the Steelers, say the Steelers are at 20? Say if, in this weird example, JPJ and Demarius Mims are both gone. What do you do there then?
Oh, then you trade back.
I was going to say, I think that in that case, I'd be willing to trade back. Now, am I willing to trade back too far? No. But if if you could somehow, some way recoup a second or a third, then we might be interested. I might be interested there.
And that's what, you know, that's if both of them are gone. If one of them is still there, they're going to stay put. Now, depending, you know, when it happens, of course.
So, it's going to be interesting.
You know, just hope they make the right decision.
Let's hope. Good God. All right. It is time for the final mock draft that we look at of the 2024 draft season, I believe.
I saw this on YouTube. Like he did a video.
Oh, you saw it already?
No, I didn't. I almost did. I saw like a, you know, the pop up. I was like, no, I think we might be looking at a mock draft. And guess what? You put this one.
So we're gonna take a look at this one. I've not seen it. He has not seen it. So obviously this is going to be our raw reaction. So starting off at number 1, Chicago Bears selecting Caleb Williams. I mean,
yeah, you can put all your money on Caleb Williams being number 1. Well, don't do it, but could be.
All right, number 2, the Washington Commanders selecting Jaden Daniels. Okay. You guys have heard me say that for months, that I would not be surprised if this happened at all.
Not surprised. It's starting to heat up for sure.
Number 3, hello. Okay.
It's the Giants. Jeez, I thought it was the Patriots.
So the Giants trade up to get Drake May. This is interesting. And here's why I think this is interesting. Because the Giants have the ability to get out of Daniel Jones' contract, I want to say, after this year. This would be a good situation for Drake May, considering if you're able to let him sit all year, because I'm not fully sure if he's ready to start day 1. So if you let him sit for a while, but let him learn, let him develop.
You don't think Daniel Jones gets traded?
No.
No.
I think this is interesting, but I'm not fully mad at it.
No.
I'm not fully mad at it. Number 4. Oh, hello.
Oh, it's a 4 quarterbacks, first 4 picks.
Okay. Here's what I got to say about this. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, first and foremost, you have better have gotten a king's ransom.
Because, God, you're giving up Marvin Harrison for damn sure.
But here's where I'm going to talk about is Minnesota and J.J. McCarthy. I have been preaching this for months.
To the choir.
To the choir, to everybody out there, to the people in the back. I've been preaching this for months. If this were to happen, would probably honestly be my favorite pick of the entire draft. I think this is a match made in heaven. I just think with the way that the play style of JJ McCarthy being able to fit into that offense, I think would be perfect.
Good. So, yeah, you've been saying it.
I would love that. And then good God, if Justin Herbert is able to get Marvin Harrison Jr., being able to throw to that dude, oh my.
Well, at least he has a weapon then.
So you have someone. I'm going to tie this into something real quick. You have the quarterback whose name is Justin Herbert, who has their head coach, who just came from Michigan, who will then be thrown to a wide receiver from the Ohio State. Herb, I turned this all around into you. Damn it.
I know you guys knew it was coming. That would be like the magical pick for them if that happens.
Yeah, good God.
I don't know how. There's no way. Well, I would say there's no way. Very unlikely.
Oh, listen, if you're the Chargers and you let Marvin Harrison, then you'll then
if Marvin Harrison at 5, that's the fastest to the podium I should see.
Ever. Number 6, the New England Patriots. They go and get Malik Neighbors, the wide receiver from LSU. So now in this case, they don't get a quarterback, but instead they get someone to catch the football.
Yep.
So then you would ask yourself, who the hell would their quarterback be? Jacoby Brissett?
Oh, God. Yeah.
I guess.
There's no answer.
I guess. Number 7, the Tennessee Titans. They go and select Joe Alt, the offensive tackle from Notre Dame.
No, this is a lock, I feel like, in my opinion. If I have to do
there are certain picks that just feel like a lock. This is one of them.
This is definitely one of them.
And I'm glad that we have finally reached the level of where I've been at for months. And I, again, been preaching this to the choir for months, that I thought that Joe Alt was offensive tackle 1 over Olu Fashanu. And I think it's gotten to that point now where we have all agreed to that, or the majority have agreed to with that as well.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Welcome to that club. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. They go and get Jarryd Verse, not the wide receiver, the edge rusher from Florida State. So that's interesting. I guess that's more of based on what kind of player that they would want to go after. Do they want to go after more of a true defensive end, or do you want to go after more of that outside linebacker, edge rusher? In this case, they go after, I think the more truer defensive end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they need it.
But yeah, I'm not mad at the position at all. I am mad at it.
They need it. They need a defensive player.
Number 9, the Chicago Bears. They go and get Roma Dunze.
Yep.
And obviously, this is another one of those picks. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a lock pick.
No.
We've seen this a lot, and we've preached this to the choir on numerous times. Every time we have seen it, yep. I am mad at the pick.
Nope.
Number 10, the New York Football Jets. They go out and get Brock Bowers. So obviously they've handled their offensive tackle position, I guess. Even though they're all sponsored by AARP. They're all sponsored.
I guess.
Yeah.
They're all in with Aaron Rodgers, so.
Yeah. But listen, hey, Aaron Rodgers loves throwing to tight ends.
Yep, he does.
So, you know what? I ain't mad at it.
Nope.
Number 11, the Arizona Cardinals. So they have 2 first-round picks this year. They start out here at number 11, and they get Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama. And listen, they need to get to the quarterback badly.
Yep.
Badly. They need to be able to start getting to the quarterback, and this is a way to start for them in getting Dallas Turner, who obviously had a good chance of being edge rusher 1 in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Number 12, the Denver Broncos. They go and select Quinion Mitchell, the cornerback from Toledo. Now, me being a Steeler fan here, both of us, I'll put it at that. But I think if you're a Steeler fan, you're a little upset. Mm-hmm. Not because Quinion Mitchell is gone, because we all figured he'd be gone before then.
Yep.
Damn it, take a quarterback. There's a reason.
I'm not surprised. I'm just not. I know there's a reason why. Bo Nix is not deserving to be up here. Hell no.
Well, listen, I agree
or
with
Michael
that.
Penix.
You know what? And listen, I agree with that. But I want for the Steelers' sake, damn it, take a quarterback here because I want better football players to come to us.
I listen from our standpoint. Yes, I understand. I hope they do. They make the quarterback pick. Yeah, we all be happy.
If we're doing this, if we are going narrow-minded, straight eye, just like this, quarterback right here, please. But the moment you branch onto here, obviously not. I mean, although you could make the argument.
I just wonder what they're gonna do. They haven't signed on who's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback? Jarryd Stidham, right?
I believe is Jarrett Stidham.
Jarryd Stidham? You're really gonna start going out there with Jarrett Stidham? I think
yes, Jarrett Stidham or Ben DiNucci.
Definitely not one. It's the Broncos should trade up. And let's see what happens. But
all right, so yeah, but in terms of this, that's nasty. Them and him and Pat Surtain, nasty. Number 3. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say about this pick. First and foremost, if y'all know how I feel about J.C. Latham, then you know. If you don't know, I am not a fan of J.C. Latham whatsoever. And
any of us are.
And you know what this pick would remind me of? Another offensive tackle who have come from Alabama. Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah.
We all saw how that went.
Yep.
I'm personally not a fan of JC Latham at all. So, but this would be a Raider pick.
This would be such a Raider pick,
in my opinion.
Good for us.
Yes. And Olu Fashanu going number 14 to the New Orleans Saints. And hey, listen, I'm not mad at this pickup at all because right now there are questions at both sides on the offensive tackle because you got Ryan Ramczyk who may not be able to play this year. Trevor Penning has not been good. So you could go on either way. So this would be a pick where if you're looking at it from the right tackle position, if you're a Steeler fan saying, okay, hey, if you want to take that left tackle, that would help us out a little bit. Please do so. Thank you very much. So yeah, but overall, taking my Steelers hopeful bias out of this, either tackle position I'm okay with.
Yep.
So number 15, the Indianapolis Colts, they go after Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle from Texas.
Yep.
And I mean, they could go in a couple different directions, but
here corner, probably, maybe receiver, if they're feeling it. No, they signed Michael Pittman back. I just realized that. No,
yeah,
definitely not. Defensive tackle or corner.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it. Number 16, the Arizona Cardinals. Okay, so they trade up. So Arizona's all over the damn board tonight.
Wow.
In this case, and they go after Brian Thomas Jr. So they go after the second LSU wide receiver. So is Brian Thomas Marvin Harrison Jr.? No. But I think how they look at this is say, hey, we were able to trade back. We were able to acquire hopefully a king's ransom.
Yeah.
We have the ability to trade up if we want. So why not do that?
Yep.
Ain't mad
at it.
Move up and down the draft board, get the guys that you want, fill the positions that you need to get.
Yep.
Okay. Number 17, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They go out and select Terrion Arnold.
It's great.
You've been preaching to the choir about the Jags getting a corner.
A corner. Him or Quinion Mitchell, be great. Either one.
So, I think there's, you ain't gonna argue with that, especially now with what the Houston Texans and who they've been able to acquire now. Yep. I think you got to deal with them. Indianapolis, I mean, still they have a chance to be a pretty good offense, and then Tennessee, I mean, they got Calvin Ridley now, so they got the AFC South's got some young talent in that division.
Just a lot, so much money. Whew, man. Calvin, really good job, man. That's all I can tell you.
Number 18, the Cincinnati Bengals. They go out and select Troy Fautanu, the offensive lineman from Washington. Yep. So now they go out and they are still trying to build that offensive lineup.
Yep.
Which, I mean, sucks for us, but for them, that's great.
Yeah.
Although they try to do that and it still doesn't work. So
they just got to hit on one.
All right. So here we go. So the Rams get Laiatu Latu.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So here it comes.
Very nice.
This falls right into the Steelers' lap. All that discussion we just had a little bit ago falls right now. In your scenario, you said center first.
Yeah, I did.
So in that case, you would be going for Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah, but
for me, I would be leaning more towards Amarius Mims.
Yeah, now you have me leaning towards more Amarius Mims now. It's just,
and they get neither. They go after Tyrese Fuaga. So in this situation, they get the offensive tackle, a different player.
Yep.
The issue that I had with Fuaga was the length.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my biggest issue with him versus Amarius Mims too. Now Fuaga obviously has more experience. I think that's the thing too with Mims. He's raw. He only has 803 career snaps. He only has 8 career starts.
Yep.
So he is very raw. But I think at the end of the day, you looked at Amarius Mims' size and his length.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot. Fuaga's length is a little bit on the shorter end.
Yep.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you got yourself your offensive tackle.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
So number 21, the Miami Dolphins, they go out and select Chop Robinson. So they get themselves the edge rusher here. Yeah. Now you got yourself a nice little trio with Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson. Get to the quarterback because that's something that they lost badly last year once they lost both those guys and even Van Ginkel.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Number 22, the Philadelphia Eagles, they go after Nate Wiggins, which, by the way, I think in terms of overall fit for that city, this is a match made in heaven because Nate Wiggins has that dog in him. He is a feisty little dude. And we all know how Philadelphia is.
City of brotherly love.
Bullshit. And I'm skinny.
Jeez.
But no, I like this idea for them. They've been going after defensive tackles now, or defensive line for a little bit. So now I think they need to work on that back end, and that's exactly what they get with Nate Wiggins.
Agreed.
Number 23, the Seattle Seahawks go after Graham Barton. So in this case, Jackson Powers Johnson and Mims are still there on the board.
There's no way. There's no way they last this long.
You know what though? I could see I could see a scenario where that's the case though. Here, and I think the reason being is because I don't think teams value centers nearly as much.
No, for JPJ, I can understand. I'm at Marius Mims though.
Oh, and Mims, no, I can see it based on the fact that he's raw with the lack of experience. So that I think that's where that would come into play.
Like that.
But in terms of Seattle, I mean, they go and help out their offensive line. I still think defensive line would be a possibility too. But I think somewhere in the interior, offensive line, defensive line, wherever, I think they're okay with. Number 24, the Dallas Cowboys. They go after Tyler Guyton, the offensive tackle from Oklahoma. Now, this is a case where this is another one of those picks where we've seen quite a bit.
Yep, a lot.
And they need it.
Yep, for sure.
Especially because with what they have done or lack thereof of free agency so far. Yikes. Number 25, the Green Bay Packers. They go after Tyler Nubin, the safety from Minnesota. This is interesting because my question to them would be, we know that they want a safety. They could also use a corner.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I know they're going somewhere in that back end. So in my mind, the two names that I would be thinking of were Tyler Nubin and Cooper DeJean. Both Big Ten guys, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I thought in this scenario, going after Cooper DeJean would be a little bit of a better fit because of the fact that you could have versatility. You could play him in both spots. You could do a little bit more with him. I just think in that scenario, I would like the flexibility a little bit more. Because you could play Cooper DeJean's obviously a corner, but you could play him as a safety.
Yeah.
I think that's where I see him a little bit more as.
This is crazy. Okay.
But I am mad at the pick at all.
No, I'm not mad at the pick at all.
And by the way, if my boy Riley, if you're watching this, comment down below. Let me know what you think of this pick. My boy Riley is a big Packers fan. So I'll give you a shout out. Number 26, the Washington Commanders. So they traded up, all the way up. And they go and get Amarius Mims. So they go up and they get themselves an offensive tackle. Listen, anytime you could go and get yourself an offensive tackle, you can't get mad at it.
No, for sure.
And in that case, they got their quarterback, and now they got a protector for him.
Yep. 2
premier positions.
Agreed.
Number 27, the Arizona Cardinals. They go after Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm in the mood for some Kool-Aid right now. But yeah, they get themselves a
good corner.
Yeah, they get themselves a good corner here. A little curious to see the drop on Cooper DeJean.
A little, exactly.
That's a little interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, I'm mad at it. Number 28, the Buffalo Bills go after Donnie Mitchell, the wide receiver from Texas, and obviously with them, he mentions Gabe Davis, but obviously also now loses Stephon Diggs. They clearly need a wide receiver because who the hell is Josh Allen going to throw to outside of maybe Curtis Samuel or like Dawson Knox or
Shakir?
Or
is Shakir still there? No?
Yeah, Shakir's still there, but I mean it's like
that's who's there.
But you got Dawson Knox, you got the other tight end. I'm forgetting his name, who they drafted.
You said Kincaid?
Yeah, Don Kincaid. That's what I was thinking of. And of course, as my freaking there we go. All right, so yeah, but overall, they need a wide receiver badly.
Yep.
And they get one right here. Number 29, the Detroit Lions. There you go. There we go. And god damn it, do I love this pick.
I love this pick too. Love it. Love it for the Lions.
And I'm glad to hear that he mentions that he could be a starting spot either as a cornerback or a safety. And I like who they just labeled him as defensive back, not safety, not corner, whatever. Just because that's exactly what he is. He could play all 4 of those spots. He could play the cornerback position. He could play the safety position. So yeah, overall, and especially with what has gone on with Cam Sutton, clearly back end needs a little bit of help. Yeah. Number 30, the Baltimore Ravens go after Jordan Morgan, the offensive tackle from Arizona. They need an offensive tackle badly. I think them losing Morgan Moses, that becomes an issue. They're off their other tackle, who I'm forgetting his name because he never freaking plays because he's always freaking hurt. Ronnie Stanley. He's always hurt. He can't stay on the field. You trade away Morgan Moses. That sniffs out that you need an offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number 31, the San Francisco 49ers. They go after Darius Robinson, the defensive end from Missouri here. Dude's a big fucker. I think he's someone that he's a little bit raw still. I think he's someone who I think, listen, San Francisco, you get him, pair him up with Nick Bosa, let him learn. I think he might be all right. Think he'll be all right.
Hold on. I don't know if you saw your phone.
Uh-oh. Do we got some breaking news?
I don't know. It's just Jeremy Fowler. It was the ESPN. Yep. Tight end McCole Pruitt has agreed terms with the Steelers. Reunited with Arthur Smith from their Tennessee and Atlanta days.
Huh. Okay, so all right. So there you go. We got ourselves a nice little signing here live here on the podcast. He's 6'2", 245. And he was a 5th round pick in 2015 from Southern Iowa. So I mean, cool. He'll be in, just be a depth piece. He'll just be a depth piece behind Pat, Darnell Washington, Connor Hayward. So we'll see. All right, pick number 32, the Kansas City Chiefs. They go after Ladd McConkey, the wide receiver from Georgia here, and I think they're going to be going back to possibly needing a wide receiver based on what's been going on with the good old Rashee Rice. We'll see what goes on with that, but I mean, overall, listen. At the end of the day, this guy who's a route running machine. Mm-hmm. Running routes for Patrick Mahomes. Oh,
wow!
God damn it!
Be a good fit for him, though.
Woof.
Yep.
Ooh, buddy. But I think that is about it for this episode. I do want to say thank you so much for you guys tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, smash that like button, hit the red subscribe button, drop a comment. Again, make sure to follow us both on Twitter at Jeff_Kirby412, at Boss_Sanchez98. Again, we'll be posting a little bit more information about next week's episode, whether it's going to be just a regular all recorded or if we decide to go live. We'll see. We'll figure that out. Honestly, we're getting close. 3 weeks away from the NFL draft.
3 weeks.
21 days.
I can't wait.
Cannot wait. But until then, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. I get to experience the eclipse on Monday because we have the total eclipse going on. And my city, when you look at the top part of Ohio, I am smack dab in the middle of that. So we are in prime city. We are literally right there, which is also not going to smell good for the travel because, good God, the amount of people that are projected to be over in this area is yikes. So yeah, we got that going. But until then, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go Steelers. Hey, Buccos, by the way, they are rolling. Pirates are rolling.
Pirates are rolling.
Pirates are rolling. But yeah, until then, go Steelers. Go Bucks. Go Buckeyes. Fuck all the teams, especially the Magic.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, get that ugly ass whatever off your. We're just gonna go ahead and just block that out. Fuck Michigan, by the way. And by the way, my city tomorrow, Caitlin Clark. Welcome to Cleveland.
Nice.
I wish I was able to go to that game, but
I bet they're stupid expensive.
Real quick, I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna pull up.
I bet they're so expensive.
And let's see. Right now, I could get tickets. Let's see, one ticket with fees.
Oh.
Well, I could get one for a solid $924.19.
That's how much to go. Is that the top?
That is at the top.
900. And is that the final? Is it the Final Four?
It is the Final Four. But also remember, it is guess who's going to be there. If Caitlin Clark was not going to be there, I don't think these prices would not be this high.
Nope.
It'd be a little bit expensive, but nowhere near as high.
Nope.
So, but yeah, that is about that. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Fuck the Magic again, and fuck the Yankees, and fuck UCF.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone.